You won't believe my family used to call me, mad guy. 12, 13 hours without AC in the temperature where the temperature is 50 degrees Celsius in UP. And my sister's wedding was there in the month of July, so I had put deadline as in the month of June itself. Like either Mukul, you do it by the end of June, or you actually don't do it. You leave GMAT. It's not your cup of tea, sort of. If you are looking at a question and if you don't understand how to navigate or what is the approach, go back to the theory. Let's say if it is probability or any particular topic, number system or time, speed, distance, anything. Go back to the topic. Try to solve more and more variety of the questions from the material given. Material is extremely vast and self-sufficient in itself. One point, I think 4 or 5 questions I got very similar to what I had solved in the entire
Right.
GMAT material.
Whatever is really shared with me in the foregoing days, the day before and today, I'm just sharing so that we all can really find that level of inspiration that is required right now. So first of all, 7:45, but by the person we are talking, and I was not very sure because my teammate told that he's from an intensive batch. That is the one that is going on, and I was like, okay, the batch is not even over. How would it be? So then, so he says, I followed everything, know the world, some things here. Okay. Apart from that, so this was my question because you didn't wait for the intensive batch to finish. So I fixed it after the classes. So he wrote the exam in 3 weeks only almost. Long sittings in this. And he says, including quant, so maybe quant was weak, maybe this is the hint. And then missed on regular practice because of whatever the reason, we'll ask him. So let's see the other thing here. This is the score report, as you can see, 745. And if I analyze DI, which we were really, really worried about, here's 99th, verbal 100, we were really worried about, and quant also. Some drop here, we'll see what happened. Another thing, we get 8 questions by the way in a demo, not 6. So when he joined, he had 1 out of 8, which you probably also would have had many. And let's see. One more thing I just noticed, and that was I asked him specifically because he said I was scared of quant. That is fine. But verbal and so yeah, so he said I was weak at all the 3 sections. And someone like that, if someone joins and within a short span of time is able to achieve that, we'd like to understand. He also said scared of always feared quant. So I'll stop this share, Mukul, and in that case, please start your camera and let's start this discussion.
I think the video is not a little clear as in I come from a very rural background and I'm at my home right now. But yeah, uh,
Okay, yeah,
that
we can
shouldn't
still see
any
you when you are
conversation
when
going
you
on.
are in a better place. We can do this again, but really,
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic performance, awesome. So I do not know much about your journey and so on. I know that suddenly this result. Although 4 days we saw four such results, and exactly 4 consecutive days, four such results. So, and I genuinely thought that one would at least wait to finish the classes and then write. So tell me, Mukul, what was the plan like? How did you really go about it? Initially, you've now said you were weak at all the areas. So rather than me asking a lot of questions, you have your batchmates here who are still studying. Tell everything that you did right from the beginning. What were your actual challenges? Was discipline a major challenge? That is why probably you joined this batch. And apart from that, you said quant, verbal, DI, you struggled with all of them. So just take us through your journey chronologically and all the challenges along the way. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure. Sure. Hi, everyone. Like I think a lot of times I went through similar, session as a lot of people who achieved the great scores from top, were there on the other side, and I was listening to, very similar to what we are in similar format. But my journey, I think it started long back. I got into tier three university for my undergrad. I always wanted to get into a tier one, or let's say, wanted to go to one of the best school. Just to learn and have a great network, etc. Unfortunately, couldn't do it in my undergrad, and from there it was sort of a very dream that I always had that I want to go to maybe Harvard or Stanford or any of the top these schools that are there after my undergrad itself. So it was going
Right.
on. I was I was very much, in touch with, a lot of people who are doing similar journey. One more thing happened in my journey is that I worked with almost all the Indian top B schools. Like my
Mm,
experience that I have in with respect to my work eds, I was working in a company called Board Infinity, where we work with colleges like Accelerate, IIMs, etc., where we do placement preparation,
mhm,
etc. So I already knew the landscape of Indian B schools and wanted to try outside India. That is
mm,
one thing. And the second is with respect to GMAT journey, very specifically, it was, I think, one of the biggest hurdle because my quant was extremely weak. Very specifically, quant was a challenge. I think my score also say that to some point. Quant was weak. Verbal, I could let's say make some sense of it, but let's say when I did a lot of the RC questions, a lot of other mocks, etc., which I did. I think a lot of places I went, straight away zero out of, whatever 20 or 12 questions that are given. So I think first RCI solved, I got one correct answer, right? I was in touch with,
You mean RC1 session which you watch?
yes,
There are
yes,
28
yes,
questions in that. So just
yeah.
yeah, just to put some context there, 1 on 28.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
So that way, I think entire section in the GMAT, with all three sections, including data insight, तो मतलब सुना भी नहीं था, never worked anything
Hmm.
on that front. So started with the top material. A lot of people I met on the online platforms, primarily through LinkedIn, where I checked about like how did they ace their GMAT, and I think one common feedback which I received from all the places when I used to say like I have enrolled for the top coaching, they used to say, "Yeah, you are at the right place. Just follow, what has been given to you." And of course, I went through like Sunday webinars. I think Sandeep sir conducted multiple webinars,
Hmm.
motivating us, giving us a lot of inputs like how it should be. And that way, I think I was able to ace my journey pretty well. Couple of things I think which I want to highlight. One, distractions were too high in my case. For around 6.5 years, I left my studies as in I never did any sort of reading or anything. So it was little difficult to put everything aside and then focus on my GMAT. Second, when Sandeep sir told on the Sunday session, so I think February 18th or somewhere he took a session, and
Yeah.
he told like you should be uninstalling distracting apps like Instagram and similar apps. And I think that very moment I did it, one of the I think turning point in my journey. Otherwise, कोई question गलत गया नहीं समझ में आ रहा, then you're back to Insta. Like I mean,
Right.
one particular challenge that I had. And apart from that, I was at home, left my job to focus on my GMAT because मुझे पता था कि GMAT is going to be the biggest hurdle in my case.
Right.
Then, keeping that particular aspect in mind, I, left my job and did almost full time job as a, as a GMAT prep student sort of. So yeah, I think this is how my journey was, Sandeep sir.
Right. So specifically talking about RC, CR, quant, and various topics in quant, data sufficiency, integrated reasoning. Initially, what were your challenges? How did you overcome them? And how much practice helped you and how much depth helped you? Because both are required in this case. And when did you feel that no, you were ready? That's what. So let's see.
Sure. So, talking about depth, I think ultimate goal was to get depth in all the concepts that are there. Couple of topics I always felt they are going to be challenging. One, probability and statistics. This one particular topic, I always had challenge from my 10th grade.
Hmm.
I still remember I left one particular question in my 10th grade in probability statistics. Same thing, I left it in my 12th as well. Left it in my engineering as well. Somehow I thought I'll probably get through this, but I think in the GMAT I thought like no. All the concepts, irrespective of my background that I'm coming from, whatever I left in the my undergrad or my schooling days, let me just leave my whatever path that you're coming through. That's where KTW sessions help. You know, in I think second or third session, Sandeep sir extremely emphasizes on the fact that you leave the past, stay in the present, and have a vision for the future, right? So that's where I think like he talked about a lot of things, the religion, the lot of things that we come through as in our past. But I think I decided to जो भी हुआ है, जो भी अभी तक किया है, whatever I have done, just
Mm-hmm.
let's put a full stop to it. And uh, as a child, as a beginner, you put everything into one bucket and have a learning. So that way, I think I was able to do. Quant very specifically challenges. I was able to do very easily 600 level questions, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever content that was given, the practice questions that were given, I was able to do it very easily. But when I talk about these 700, 800 level questions that are there in the material, honestly, a lot of times it happened that when I'm doing, I'm like the question is in front of me and I have no clue, like, what method to apply, how we
Mm-hmm.
would go about it, what
Right.
shortcuts should be there. That is where the depth helped, right?
Right.
Like as in, the concept, then you have solved, similar questions, that are given in the material. And
Mm-hmm.
just to put it very upfront, I did not follow any other material. Like,
Mm-hmm.
categorically, Sandeep sir said, matlab you will get questions, the question of the day, mock of the day, session of the day, etc. Never focused on anything else, just focused on whatever material that was given. Theoretically, I think quants, couple of topics I went through 4 to 5 times. Probability statistics, number system, data sufficiency. I think I went through 4 times the entire material, even the basics material. I used to solve, let's say I've solved one set today, which is given, followed by it solving the same set after 3 days, 4 days, just to ensure the concepts are super clear. A
Right.
lot of times when I'm practicing the hard level questions, 700, 8 level question, 800 level questions, I'm let's say I did a let's say particular question, couldn't solve it, went through the solution after 2 days or maybe 3 days. I'm coming back to the same question, trying to go back to my basics, like what has been the theory behind it, how do we solve it. Went through Aman's video, I think 2 to 3 times for almost all the topics.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
that way I was able to build the depth. And talking about practice is, I think, something that helped. First it was, I think, the first Sunday of the intensive batch when I had my long sitting solving LSAT questions and RC passages which were given.
Right.
Post that, वहां से वो एक शुरू चढ़ गया. I don't know how many of you are non-Hindi speakers here, but I think वहां से वो एक शुरू चढ़ा कि यार तुम 12 घंटे बैठ के कर रहे हो, तो आई थिंक देर इज सम सेंस बिहाइंड इट, देर इज सम साइंस बिहाइंड इट. And
Mm.
I think rest all the weeks I was doing the same thing
So
because
long sittings
content
genuinely was the turning point, according to you here in this
yes,
case.
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
take us a little back into a verbal initial prep for let's say CR and RC both initial before the intensive batch. Yeah.
Right. So I think RC was okay. Matlab RC, I was able to understand some bit of octave initially through the videos. Then, the major help came when we started solving in the intensive batch. Like, the
Right.
time frame which was given to us, I did, I think, 3 sessions, all 3 sessions that are there in the RC. So went through all the,
Hmm.
videos that are there beforehand, like the app material, etc. I finished. And then I used to come prepared to the classes, like extremely well prepared to the classes
Hmm.
that are coming up. And then take it as a very time constraint thing. Like, if 3 minutes or 5 minutes are given to a particular question in RC or CR, finish it in that particular time frame. If 10 minutes are given to 4 questions of a RC, finish it in that 10 minutes. Extremely, pressurized myself in a way that this is the exam. मुकुल अगर यहाँ पर तुम कर पा रहे हो तो then you will be able to do, otherwise it's not going to be not
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
be a journey
Got.
for you.
And
So
what
that
was
sense,
critical
I think
reasoning like? So sorry. Yeah. What was
it
critical
was
reasoning?
horrible, sir. It was horrible. I think our, critical reasoning, yeah, I mean, easy questions still could make some sense because of app
Hmm.
videos and the initial content which was given. But, when I started solving mix questions of CR, it was horrible. I think uh, I remember like lot of questions going wrong in a series. Like, very specifically in CR. When all the things are coming together, you don't know if it is a paradox or if this is any other topic that are coming through. But then again, what I did, I prepared my own notes, pasted in front of my desk, like where I used to study. Categorically, I can send through some of these snaps that I use, the snaps of
Go
my
on.
notebooks that I used. Systematically, I had a block wise of a long page, given in a block, and then very short things which are given in the theoretical theory of CR. Put everything like all the eight topics of CR in those particular blocks. Put a
Mhm.
very short formula to, let's say, paradox or any particular topic which is there. And initially I went with a thing that if a topic is coming, first thing was to identify which topic it is. Like if a question is coming, identify the topic which is coming through. Try to remember the formula which has been given by Sandeep sir. If you are unable to remember, just look at the block, right?
Mhm.
And then go about applying that particular formula and try to get it. Cause and effect reasoning, everything I think went through in a similar way. One thing I more or less in my long sittings of CR, I started solving it more like a quant concept itself, or maybe
Right.
more
Right.
like a mathematical way of solving the verbals. Yeah.
So when did the turning point come, let's say in RC and CR? Before long sittings, did CR improve already? I mean, had it improved?
CR, no. I think all three topics, all three sections, I would say, even DI, long sittings is the key. I think that helped me in all three sections, like acing all three sections, I would say.
Okay. Coming to DI also, what amount of prep did you
Yeah.
put? Because everything is on the portal more or less. So after
Yeah.
that, after learning, after understanding the types of questions in the first few sessions, what was your approach?
Uh, I think approach was simple. One thing that, like so with DI, I think I got a little lucky in my exam, probably, or maybe I fell through because of practice or whatever it is. But then I thought, for me, I think a lot of difficult questions did not come. I don't know how do you take it this particular
Mhm.
point, but for me, I think DI on the exam day was little easy. That can also be a psychological fact that like I took DI at the third section. So I did
Mhm.
quant, then verbal, and then this DI. So my quant was my major point which I felt that will not be is it going to be difficult, will not be right. So I took quant first, and I think as per me quant went very well. That confidence picked up, and then verbal also went well. And with the same confidence, without taking any break, I went through the third section of DI, and I was able to ace it.
You
Uh,
did not take any
One thing,
break, the 10-minute break also? Yes.
no, no, sir, I did not.
Okay. Okay.
I did
Mhm.
not take any break. And with GI, I think reading the question becomes extremely important. Initially, again, the challenge was that I was trying to reread the questions a lot, trying to identify which is the relevant information and what to skip, what not to skip, etc.
Mhm.
That was the one challenge with GI that I had. And one is like a lot of times when you go through that DI questions, it you feel like it is not making any sense. I mean, I felt that in a lot of these points in DI,
Right.
but with practice, with the practice of the questions that are there on the portal, I think I was able to ace DI. One thing which helped is focus. Like when you are reading a DI question, read through it properly. Um, Try to identify which is the relevant information and which is not a relevant information. Probably that's I think the skimming the entire question thing,
Right. Right.
and try not to reread. With quant, I think I had 1 minute time, so I was able to review 4 5 questions that I had put in this thing.
Mhm.
With verbal, I think I did not get any time. So whatever questions that I got, I was able to finish it on the time, and that thing
Okay.
happened.
Okay.
I did not click on the submit; it got automatically submitted for verbal.
Okay.
DI, I think last one question was to like Hindi we say
Mhm.
I just marked it, and I think that went
Mm.
wrong in
Right.
DI. So I did not get time. One important key in DI is not to reread the question. Like in the
Okay.
first go, you try to identify the right, content of the question. Try to understand, and with the focus, I think it happens. With practice, it happens. But in DI, I think I did not do a lot of practice. Key was to read the question in a right way.
Okay, so because now most of the people here will be switching to the portal, how does it come in
Yeah.
handy in your preparation? The whole portal, what you left also, maybe you said DI, you did not do all of it. What all
Yeah.
did you do on the portal? And alongside that, long sittings you're done from the PDF LSATs also. But apart from that,
Yes. Yes.
overall portal, how did you navigate and how much did it help? Yeah,
I think I had one challenge with my entire prep is about the time. Sometimes I have spent, let's say, on 10 to 12 questions of fonts, I have spent entire days solving or trying to find the approach. This is in my initial like March, April sort of time. I started
mm,
my prep in Feb first week, and that's how it went. Specifically with the with my time management thing, I think the entire portal thing helped. I solved almost all the mock tests of fonts,
mhm.
entire verbal. DI I did not do much. मतलब मैं राम भरोसे sort of इसमें approach में गया था for DI, but it went really well. Uh, but I think overall portal is almost very similar to the exam feeling. And of course, it is also up to us, like, are we able to replicate it in a similar way, which is like you don't have your phone. You don't, however compelling it is to, let's say, go and check the solution right away. You don't do it. Like, you actually
Mhm.
disable all your Chrome or, any Google search or anything that can happen. Remove all the study material from your table, etc. So I used to take mock in a similar way, and over a period of time, my time management thing came from the portal itself. Portal and the intensive batch, live session solving with Sandeep sir.
So, okay, one more last question. When during the batch you felt that let me just book it now, I think it's done. Now I'm getting the score that I want, or I'm kind of there. And were your mock scores justifying your decision at that time? Yeah,
Right. So, mock score from the top, portal justifying answer is maybe to no. I was not able to solve all the content, or let's say all the content isn't with the right marks, etc. Point one. Point two, when I decided was when I gave my actually the mocks on the GMAT portal, like
right. Official
GMAT
GMAT, yeah.
website, official GMAT, mocks I gave. I gave first and second twice. So basically, 4 times I appeared for the
Hmm.
mocks. Uh, and I think when I scored 765 in my latest mock, I thought like I'll go ahead and book. My sister's wedding was there in the month of July, so I had put deadline as the in the month of June itself. Like, either Mukul, you do it by the end of June, otherwise you do, then I don't know if I was ever to come back to GMAT, or let's say to my B school journey. So it was
Right,
sort of a extremely hard mindset that I had made myself. Either you crack it by June end, or you actually don't do it. You leave GMAT. It's not your cup of tea, sort of.
right,
So
right,
in my latest two mocks, one initially I'll focus on this. Initially, I got 505 and 525 in my first attempt of mocks, the
Oh,
official mock from
okay.
GMAT.
Hmm.
I started putting more focus on my top, back to my top portal. Started putting more focus on my top, content and top portal, and then eventually, that's where the long sitting came. So the like 505 and 525 is before the
Long sittings.
long sittings. So I started long sittings, helped a lot in overall my building that mindset overall. And then I think appeared for the GMAT official marks, scored 765 sort of range, and then I booked the exam and appeared for itself.
All right. Last couple of things. Some
Yes,
do's
sir.
and don'ts now that you're on the other side, and then I'll ask them also to ask questions, everyone else here. So, just a few things that you probably think that you should have done better, or these were the mistakes you could have avoided, or some things that you did and they worked out brilliantly. One I know is long sittings, but you can reiterate if there is anything. Yeah.
I think I'll again put focus on long settings. It build your mindset quite a lot in a similar function. Prepares you for the exam. That's one. Second is not rereading the questions in verbal section especially. Even in the hard quant section, a lot of times you try to make sense of question, but I think with practice and with depth all these things has to be mitigated. On your exam day, if you're rereading any particular question, I think you are losing your score or you're losing your time, which is equivalent to score in one or the other way, right? So this was one biggest challenge that I had, like rereading, trying to make some sense of it. But with depth, solving more and more questions with lot of practice, this thing helps. I don't know, like I'm sure all of you must be right now in your advanced stage of your preparation. But if anyone is in a beginner stage or anyone having issues like if you're looking at a question and if you don't understand how to navigate or what is the approach, go back to the theory. Let's say if it is probability or any particular topic, number system or time, speed, distance, anything. Go back to the topic. Try to solve more and more variety of the questions from the material given. Material is extremely vast and self-sufficient in itself if you solve through the entire material. And I'd like to focus here one point. I think 4 or 5 questions I got very similar to what I had solved in the entire
Right.
GMAT material. I don't remember if it was from the mock test or let's say if it was from the material, but I think
Mm-hmm.
values were changed. Values were changed, but the question was ditto same. The language of the question was ditto same,
Right.
right?
Right.
So this is one thing which I'm saying, like the material is self-sufficient. Don't look anything here and there. I did not even solve the official guides properly. I just went through a couple of questions, randomly opened some pages,
Mm.
tried solving questions. That did not help at all. But the entire material helped. I think I went through the entire material a lot of times, especially the basic material, the videos by Aman in the fonts, even the GMAT traps video on the data
Mm-hmm.
sufficiency. I went through multiple times. I remember probability section going through four times, number system going through 3 to 4 times again and again. Uh,
Right.
you know,
Right.
uh, the Aman's video, etc. So depth is the key. If you have the depth, you will automatically have depth, and the practice is the key. If you have done these two things, I think you will not have the challenge, not having the approach to the specific question while solving
Right.
it.
Right.
Verbal, don't read it, or let's say get your stamina to a level that you are actually not rereading it, if I put it in a right way.
Right.
Right? If you're rereading still, I think you need to go back, practice quite a lot. DI, try to identify, what is exactly the question trying to ask. Go back to that particular point in the question and take the data. A lot of times, it is just in front of you. It is just about putting, confirming it and basically
Right.
verifying it and then marking it.
Mm-hmm.
uh, in RC, I think Octave came very handy. I took it as a mathematical formula.
Right.
A lot of times, whatever the Sandeep sir applied in the in the live sessions in the RC or even in the app videos, I was able to ace entirely with the Octave itself. Of course, there were exceptions. I got two extremely long passages. I think. Both the passages completely unrelated with one was I think with respect to neuroscience. Although I was a biology student, I understand
Mm-hmm.
very basics of mind, and then
Mm-hmm.
KPW sessions helped me understand overall this thing, but still the content was extremely difficult to understand. But the key was going through specific paras, and I think I got a bit lucky there to get those questions. Go to that in the second para. what is the author trying to say, or in the fifth
Right,
para,
right.
what is the author trying to say. So with that, I think I was able to ace my RC. Again, octave, I think 70-80% things came from octave. With respect to CR, I think verifying the why right answer is right
Hmm.
helped a lot, rather than trying to identify what is wrong and all of that. So yeah,
Right, right, right. It does happen, except in inference, and I've said that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So,
So, okay, last thing. Was there anything unusual in all the questions that you saw on the exam? 64 questions. Would you peg that? No, this is, you've already said 4, 5 questions were absolutely similar, but beyond that, anything truly unusual that threw you off? Yeah.
uh, I think DI. Two questions were little unfamiliar, as
Okay,
in, but then I was able to make some sense of it. Was able to navigate, but I think I had not solved such questions in the top material. Rest, I think
right.
everything was on within the material which is given in one or the other way. It was covered through the materials.
And no other surprises at all in quant and verbal, like none at all.
Uh, as I said, so I'll tell you in quants, I think three topics I saw a lot of questions coming in. Even in data sufficiency, a lot of questions came from this particular topic, which is time, speed, distance, and number system, and probability statistics and number system. These two topics, a lot of questions came in my data sufficiency
Right.
questions and even in the problem solving section. So, absolutely, I will say probability statistics and number
Numbers.
system. Do not leave it at all. My probability statistics again hampered my score in cons once again here. Uh,
All
right.
right.
So I tried making, going through or maybe trying to make it, but unfortunately, probability ने धोखा दिया यहाँ पे मुझे. But these two topics I would say must master. And in the problem solving tier, time, speed, distance must master for overall problem solving, or let's say quant section, I would say.
But
Otherwise,
overall, I mean,
no
because your
major
score
surprise.
is pretty straightforward, I mean, in the 100th percentile already. So I don't think there
Yeah.
would have been too many surprises, right? Obviously, that
Yeah. For me, I think I do not find like ऐसा कुछ नहीं था जो मैंने बिल्कुल किया ही नहीं था और let's say I have no touch to it. So yeah.
that's fantastic. All right, so let's see if somebody else has something to ask. I'll also give them permission. You can also ask one by one. Please just make sure we don't create a chaos here. He may not be used to that. I am, but yeah. So whosoever wants
I'm
to
little
ask.
used to it because I went through a lot of sessions and I was
Okay,
also
cool.
part of the same peer. So yeah.
Cool, cool. So
I'll
who's
go,
going? Yeah,
I'll
sorry.
go first if it on. So, my thing is, how did you manage your time while working?
Okay, is your camera
Uh,
off by any chance? Just check. Hello?
yes, sir. I'm just trying to have the charger plugged in. So
Just a sec.
yeah,
Okay, no
answering.
problem. You can answer the question
Just
in
one
the
second.
meanwhile. Yeah.
Yeah. So your question is with respect to working full time, is it?
Correct, working full time, and how do you manage on weekdays and weekends, and how did you, do the consistency piece in last 1 month or closer to exam?
Sure. Just give me a second. Yes. Now it is present. So yeah. Shyam, actually, I left my job and focused on GMAT full time. That is also for the fact that I knew like GMAT is going to be a major hurdle for me. Even on the applications, etc., I guided two of my friends or let's say colleagues who were reporting to me in my previous organization. So I know like applications, etc. I should be able to manage, or let's say it's not going to be very difficult task, but GMAT is going to be. Hence, I took a break from my WorkX and then went on to my GMAT journey full time. So I did not have any other constraint with
Right.
respect to time commitment,
I
etc.
think if you've
But
been listening, he said that he was on a break, so he may not be able to
yeah,
answer this question as effectively. Anybody else has
right.
something more relevant? Please do ask.
Yes,
Hi,
so
Mukul.
Shiraz,
First of all, congratulations. I have a question
Thank you.
regarding this quant aspect. Really resonate with what you have felt throughout the journey. So I think the problem with me is always the confidence level with quant section. So how do you? I understood what you said to practice a lot, but let's say given next 30 days, how would you say somebody who is, let's say, at an intermediate level, how he or she should be practicing quant?
Sure. I think long sitting, one in the simple word answer is long sitting. Pick up one particular topic, go on to solve all sort of questions, mix of all sort of questions in that particular topic. For example, let's say if you picked up a number system, take all the questions that are given in the top material, including your hard level questions, easy level. Start with easy level questions. If you're unable to answer, let's say, easy or medium level questions, 600 level questions, then I think the problem is, I think, in your conceptual
Concepts.
understanding of the question. Yeah, yeah. So you must go back. As I said, I think I went through Aman's videos 4 5 times in a lot of these topics, the important topics, or let's say topics where I was struggling with. But when you do long sittings, right? When I did my fonts long sittings, I was able to get that particular confidence. And of course, my result in the GMAT official mocks gave me that confidence कि नहीं मुकुल अब हो जाए. But I think
Thanks, Mukul.
practice and depth is the key. Yeah.
Hmm.
Thanks.
Did you solve Quant 700 to 800 completely?
I think I solved 80% of it, almost. I think that's where my confidence started, especially in fonts, when my answer started going in the right direction, I was able to get the approach going through the questions. I was able to get through. You won't believe, my family used to call me, mad guy. 12, 13 hours without AC in the temperature where the temperature is 50 degrees Celsius in UP, and cooler was also not there. So at times, even my Mac used to give up. So I have a Mac which I got from my previous organization, and even Mac used to give up. Like, he took it a lot of times, वो बंद हो जाता था. Like, so, but I think practice is the key. You keep doing it repeatedly, you do it.
Okay, a
Hi,
couple of
Mukul.
more questions we can
So,
take. Yeah,
yeah,
sure, sure. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
hi. So, Mukul, I just wanted to, first of all, congratulations. Just wanted to understand the breakup of your long sittings because for me, I think for the longest part, I think understanding exactly what you mean. I think different people do different long sittings in their own versions. So, would you just
Yeah,
break down how
yeah,
you
yeah,
did that
yeah.
so that
Got it.
I can get some clarity and maybe also follow that.
Yeah.
And you
I'm
can
not
also
sure.
like mention what you sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that I'm not sure if it will work out for everyone, but let's say my thing was simple: 3 hours, 15 minutes break, next 3 hours, 30 to 45 minutes, or sometimes 1 hour break, where I also used to sleep for 15, 20 minutes sort of, and then, repeat the same thing with the 3 hours, 15 minutes break, and then 3 hours. So I have done 12 hours, per day for around 6 days a week.
All right.
That's
Thank
just
you, man.
crazy amount of input, but that really is the way, as I've been saying, long sittings genuinely help. So, Mukul, maybe someone will reach out to you personally on LinkedIn, etc. Help them in this case,
For sure, sir.
whatever, because we will carry on with the session. And I hope now one thing is sorted, you can apply totally peacefully, I think, in any school you want. So, I think so. That's the next hurdle, right? Now.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. I think that's the next thing which I'm trying to figure out. Yes, sir.
All right, great. And happy to know that Know the World sessions at least gave you that composure, that direction again and again. So, a word on
Right.
that also, let me hear, please, before you sign off. Yeah.
Yeah. I think know the world, lot of, like, in a lot of ways, came as a motivational factor for me. A lot of times I decided to give up in the entire journey. I'll tell you, Feb to June was not at all easy. Not at all easy in every sense, financially, or let's say, environment was not at all convenient for me to study, etc. There were a lot of challenges in that sense. But Know the World helped me, of course, on the content side, on RC, etc. It helped, but I think motivation wise, it helped me a lot. Uh, in lot of turning points, it shaped me as a person. Leaving behind the past, that particular point I remember. I have written it in my notebook, and I used to reread it whenever I used to go down on my motivation, or let's say the series of questions are going wrong and I don't have a right answer. I'm not getting the right answer. So it Know the World helped me overall on the content side, the evolution theory, or let's say, how did humans came to this particular point, the entire fire theory. It helped me to understand, or let's say connect the dots
I can do it.
overall, right? Yeah, but importantly, it served as a motivation to me in my entire GMAT journey.
Superb, superb. Thanks, Mukul, for making time. I know you went home and probably you'll be back to the city. Probably you're saying you're in a village or something. All right. Enjoy
Yeah, yeah.
yourself and just figure out how you would want to apply. Anytime you need any help, most welcome. Contact our team then. Right? Bye
Yes,
bye.
yes, for sure,
Thank you
sir.
for your
Yes,
time.
sir.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Bye
much.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.